we're going to call this our Finish Strong Summit today, guys. It's all about trying to, you know, set our intentions for the remainder of the year and just sort of like put a plan in place to try and help us be as consistent and as focused as we can around the obvious challenges that are kind of coming our way. So yeah, I mean, it says in the booklet, this is, I suppose, the mindset we're trying to avoid ourselves getting into, which we can all be guilty of a little bit when it comes to our fitness at this time of year, especially as we get later in this quarter towards December. I'll start again in January. I've already had that a number of times, like I just said, from people who've kind of left their details with us recently or whatever, is that, oh, I'll start in January. You know, that's a very common mindset that people fall into. We don't hear it a lot from members, but it can creep in a little bit in terms of our mindset, just as how we approach our training. Oh, I'll maybe miss today, it'll be okay, I'll start going in January. Or, you know, nutrition wise can slip and think, okay, I'll get back to it in January. So that's, I suppose, the mindset that we're trying to avoid with this. So it's funny, I was doing putting these slides together like a couple of weeks ago, and I wrote, you know, this might be the hardest time of year to stay consistent, and I thought, I said that in the summer one. It's like, every time is hard, isn't it? You know, like there's always something going on in life. I remember thinking for the summer one, oh, you know, it's hard because of barbecues and like social events and beer gardens and all that, and then 3 months later you think, oh, it's really hard now actually because we've got Christmas coming, and you know what I mean? So it just made me chuckle a little bit, because I'm thinking, it's always hard. Like there's always something going on, there's always an event in the future, whether that's your birthday, whether it's Christmas, whether it's the New Year, whether it's whatever, there's always something that you've got to navigate around. So, but yeah, for some people this might be the hardest time of year for different reasons, which we'll talk about in a minute. And you know, I do believe that how you finish the year matters a lot more than how you started when it comes to where are we at the beginning of next year, for example. You know, I think how you finish something is arguably a lot more important than how you start it. So for us, the focus is, you know, really focusing on these last few months of the year and trying to get as much out of them as we can. And one thing we wanted to note is, like, strength isn't just the physical side of things. I think the mental strength is important this time of year with, like we'll talk about shortly, like the obvious challenges that come at this time of year. So I think the mental challenge of staying consistent, staying on track is arguably as challenging as actually just getting into the gym. And very much at this time of year, the momentum and the consistency and the habits that you've got is going to far outweigh the motivation, because for most people, their motivation will dip a little bit at this time of year. We spoke about that a little bit already on the Gym Floor H, and a few other people I've been speaking to over the last couple of weeks have already noticed a bit of a shift in that. Weather's changing, darker mornings, colder, all those things. So yeah, definitely this time of year it's about kind of keeping momentum, keeping those habits and behaviours, and then, you know, moving forwards as best as we can. And there's a term I came across a couple of years ago, actually. It was like a business event, and they called it like the separation season, and I quite liked it really, because I think most people at this time of year will take a step back a little bit. Like the norm would be take a step back, do a little bit less activity, not be as focused on our nutrition. Like that would be the normal pattern of behavior at this time of year. And this person was arguing, you know, can we use this as a time to like separate ourselves from the norm and dial ourselves in a little bit more. He was talking about it from a business context, but I thought it was very relevant when it comes to fitness as well. And we'll talk about this in a minute, but I think for some people it doesn't necessarily mean that this time of year is going to be the main time that they're going to achieve really great results or really focused in on results, but it might just be about being consistent and maintaining those progressions that you have made already this year, rather than kind of waking up on January 1st and feeling like you're significantly further back than you were in the beginning of October, for example. So that's part of it here. So yeah, rather than skipping sessions, kind of eating whatever we want and thinking, oh, the future me will sort it out in January, and giving yourself that like free pass to just, you know, do what you want because the future new year you will kind of sort things out. We want to try and avoid that mindset where we can. And as always, it's about progress over perfection. You know, we're not expecting people to be perfect this time of year. We never do, but especially this time of year, there's always going to be those challenges. But I think trying to be as focused on making progress or maintaining that progress that we've already made, I think is where we really want to focus in on. So, as we always do with these guys, I do like a little bit of reflection. I do like a little bit of reflection. You know that, Lynn, don't you, after coming all these times. So, why reflect? I've prompted it already, because when I say we're going to reflect, I just see everyone's eyes go, oh, here we go. Maybe that's why hardly anyone's here. But it's the way I do these things, and I've got more and more reflective as I've, as time's gone on and spent more time doing these types of things, and also in business. Like, it's easy to move on without recognizing what's gone on. Like, life is very fast paced. Like, we're all just one day to the next. Like, before you know it, it's Monday again, and it's just like, wow, where did that time go? So I just think sometimes it's really important to just like take a step back, just breathe, and just think, right, what's been going on? Like, what's been working? What's not been working? How can I, learn from what I've been doing recently? How can I make changes? And that's why I think it's really important to do that. Like I said, what's been working? What's not been working? Has there been patterns emerging around my behaviors, my actions, my results? And yeah, it's not about criticism necessarily. I think people always think like reflection is a bad thing. It's not about being critical of what you've been doing. It's about just being aware of what you've been doing and trying to learn from it. And again, reiterate this again, I mentioned this a few times in this, it's not about being perfect, it's not about trying to aim for perfection over the next 3 months, it's just about trying to think about what has been going on and how can we improve upon that or make changes upon that. And there's a little bit about that in terms of the alcohol section as well, which Claire's going to cover. So, the first part of our booklet, guys, the first page, the questions are on the booklet and also on the screen. So, just want to take a couple of minutes, as we usually do in these ones, guys, trying to look back before we look forward. So, what have you achieved this year that you're proud of so far? How has your health, your fitness, your mindset, or your confidence changed? Or anything that's important to you. It doesn't have to be those 4 things. They were just the 4 ones that I thought of, but it could be anything to do with your health and fitness. The third question, what's been your biggest challenge? And what did you learn from it? And I think that's a really, really important part. And then the final bit is, what do you want to protect or maintain before the end of the year? Like, waking up on January 1st, what do we want to ensure that we've done over these last few months of the year, I suppose. So what we'll do, we'll just pop a little bit of background music on, we'll spend a couple of minutes, and then my favourite part, guys, if anyone's happy to share, that would be great. I'm going to pick on you first, Lynn. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're going to cheers, mate. Yeah, just got to go. Yeah. No, I'm only kidding. No one has to share if you don't want to, guys. We need Colin here again, don't we? He was an absolute demon last time for sharing. It was great.
I might made up for Colin.
What's that, Kerry?
I might have made up for Colin.
You do it, Kerry. That'd be good.
This is so much easier, by the way.
Yeah, you happy? Yeah. Did you see I put that in? I put that in there as a little, just because I needed a page, so I just thought it's quite a nice way to just prompt it. Yeah, we were on 11 pages and I needed an extra page. So we were on 11, so I needed another one. So I thought rather than shoving a blank one in.
No.
Relying on you, Val, for lots of sharing.
So I've got the energy. It's sad, really.
Right, we'll go 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes.
The camera's like all this bouncing. What is that? It's the whole thing. Did you read it? No, I've done it. Do we do it?
Right, guys, final 60 seconds and then we're going to move on. Sorry.
Wants to get home to his family, don't you, Daniel?
No, not at all.
Nice escape.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Do you think so, Val?
Yes.
You wouldn't be here.
They are wild.
Joking. I don't believe that for how old are they now?
4.5, Max is nearly 3, and then Harley is nearly 7 months now, which is crazy.
That's not so good.
I know. Scary.
She's walking,
She's crawling really fast now. She's just up onto her hands, just trying to learn how to coordinate, like, she just sort of comes up onto her hands and knees and then just flops onto her tummy and then just army crawls. So just trying to get that next step of getting the hands moving. It's good fun. It's good fun. All right, guys. So, yeah, I mean, anybody feel comfortable to share from any of those 4? I'm not going to do them in order. I'd love to hear anyone from number 3, if anyone would be willing to share their challenges, because I think they're always a good part, but anyone feel free to share anything.
After you. No, I haven't got
What about?
Injury. I'll
Injury.
I'll
Your knee.
Now my shoulder.
Okay.
Oh,
Lower back.
does it mean healthy?
It can be. Yeah. Go on, Carrie.
I normally sleep really well, or I have always throughout my life. You know, normally you lay me flat, I'm asleep and wake up, that's it, I'm good. And this year I've struggled with my sleep. Part of it is the dog, but it's not entirely his fault. But it's also been working in the evenings, which I haven't done previously, so.
Hard to switch off.
Yeah. But then it knocks on into the day and how much you want to do and energy and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Difficult one, sleep. Anyone else, guys? Challenges?
So I
Go on, mate.
yeah, so as some of you know, I've had sort of knee problems. I've had two knee part replacements, so that's been a challenge. And one didn't work properly and I had to have it redone. And so that one was done twice this year. But what I did do was get back here as soon as I could, so I was back 2 or 3 weeks after operations, just get things moving again. So that was a challenge, but the challenge I had was how far I'd got behind with my fitness, just not doing it. Even for like 2 or 3 weeks, I struggled when I came back, because you sort of come back and you sort of get into it, but then just trying to get to the end of the session was a struggle, you know, and it wasn't through knee pains or anything, it was just my own.
Yeah.
You don't realise how far you come when you come here, and then how quickly it falls away. You know, that was the biggest surprise for me.
Yeah. Good. You did the right thing though, getting back quick. That was yeah, it was good. It was good. Do you feel better now? Do you feel like you're back into the swing of it now?
Yeah. I mean, it's still got challenging.
Yeah.
You know, it's still not perfect.
Yeah.
But still see progression.
Yeah.
Really well, I think, Mark.
Yeah, as I say, I see it daily, weekly. You know, probably the last couple of weeks I've been seeing changes. But it is one of those that you think it's slow, and then all of a sudden something happens.
Yeah.
You know, because I used to struggle to get upstairs, but now stairs are not so much of a challenge now.
Yeah.
It's just that sort of weight bearing when you've got your leg out in front of the extension.
Yeah.
Your knee takes most of the strain. Yeah, but getting back to fitness was good to get back there.
Good man.
It's true, you do lose the fitness really quickly, and then it's frustrating because you think, I could do that a few weeks ago, why can't I do it now?
Yeah.
And then you think, that can't be right, just a couple of weeks, and then you've lost the fitness.
Yeah.
But it is true.
I think it comes back quicker than you think though.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It
I
does
think
get-
normally it's just a few weeks of just feeling a bit rusty and a little bit like out of sorts, but it bounces back quicker. We always say to get back to where you've been is usually not as hard as it was to get there in the first place. You know what I mean? Like you can get back to it's that going again further. That's always the harder bit. Like each time you get to a new point.
I think it's interesting because I think that what you're saying is true, but psychologically, getting back is harder than getting there the first time.
It's probably more psychologically than it is physiologically in a lot of cases. It's probably more how your mind, you feel about it versus what your actual physiological performance would be.
In my head, there's that, even if it's not because of I've done anything, there's that kind of, now you've got to get over a failure as well as the... and there's that negative little voice.
That's the thing,
isn't it?
I think it's about mindset. That actually you've been through a thing, you've survived that thing, actually you can learn to adapt. Like I've been diagnosed with hip arthritis this year, which was initially for me a major blow, because I was like, well, I'm only in my 40s, this is going to really affect me, but actually I've realised that if I adapt around that, and everyone here has been brilliant at making me realise that I can still do everything that I was doing before. In fact, I'm stronger than I've ever been, and fitter than I've ever been. Like I took some friends up a hill the other day, and usually I would be out of breath, like towards the top of it, and I was at the front with the dog. So, so I think it's my mindset.
I think it probably is mindset as well.
It's why we do these events, because we're all guilty of it. We all talk to ourselves negatively. We all talk ourselves out of things, and you know what I mean. Like, not many of us are very positive. It's a very British trait, isn't it? We're all quite pessimistic about things. So it's good to just. Absolutely,
Correlation between that and the rain, isn't there?
Yeah, it's mainly the weather, I think, isn't it? But cool, lovely. Thank you, guys. That was good. Cool. So next section we're going to think about then is going to be just like, we spoke a little bit briefly about this, nothing new, but just some of the challenges that we think about. You'll probably have your own, but the reason that we think about this at this time of year, there's some obvious things upcoming. I mean, maybe not as much in October, November, potentially, but obviously as we get into December, and this today is kind of covering up until like the new year, you know, obviously parties, alcohol, which we're going to talk about, food temptation is obviously a lot more common. Fridge is full of all the festive things, and that gets earlier and earlier in the year. It comes out in the supermarkets earlier every year, it seems. We spoke about this already a little bit, like motivation levels dropping a little bit, darker mornings and evenings. For some people that really impacts them, especially if they're people who train early mornings or evenings and going out again in the dark, getting up in the dark. Low motivation off the back of that, and SAD, SAD, seasonal affective disorder. Chatting with a couple of people this week who said that really impacts them. Have most of you heard of SAD? Heard of that term? Yeah. So yeah, really probably more prevalent than I think people think it is. I think the rates of that are probably higher than people imagine, and most people who feel a bit rubbish at this time of year, like a lot of it might be that. So there is some things you can do about that potentially. Busier schedules, family pressures, you know, again, festivities being the key thing there. And I think this is something that we come back to in pretty much every talk we do on any topic. We always end up at this, which is the all or nothing mindset, which so many of us are guilty of thinking, okay, well, I can't do my normal, so I'm not going to do anything, or I'm not going to be on track today with my nutrition because I've got this going on, so I'm going to just blow the whole day or the whole weekend out. You know, that very much just black and white thinking, which I think so many people are guilty of. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges at this time of year. It's like, how do we navigate these things, enjoy them and still get the social benefit from them and all those positive things, but then not let it completely write off the whole day or the whole weekend or the whole week or the whole month or the whole quarter. That's probably what we're mainly thinking about here. So just a couple of little points that we thought about when it comes to so mindset around this time of year. Now, for any of you who were at our New Year like goal setting thing like this at the beginning of the year, we spoke in that one a lot about identity, about trying to become the person that you want to be through your actions and through your behaviours. And I think this time of year really tests that for people, because it's very easy to fall out of the habit of the routine that you've got yourself into. And the way I try and frame it for people is try and think about, you know, are you someone who wants to be someone who writes off, 4 to 6 weeks every year because of Christmas and New Year and all those things that come with it? Or do you want to be someone who stays true to the habits that you set out for yourself, even when it gets a little bit harder, even when things aren't perfect, even when things are more challenging? And I think consistency at this time of year, not brief periods of perfection, which is what a lot of people go through, that like, right, I'm really on it at the moment, thinking about what we said before. I'm really on it at the moment. I'm going to do gym 3, 4, 5 times a week. I'm going to be really good with my diet. That's great for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but then they're completely off track for the rest of the time. And that cycle of on and off is far less beneficial to people longer term than just a more sustained level of consistency throughout the course of the year. And I think that's what's going to really define people's success, especially throughout the next few months when there's going to be much more challenges. So we spoke about all or nothing mindset already. Claire's one of Claire's favourite saying, you know, just trying to remember that, just trying to think about that when we are going through the next few months and there's certain things that are cropping up. You know, you've had a bad meal, so I wouldn't even like to call it a bad meal, but I'm going to use that in inverted commas. A bad meal doesn't mean it's a bad day. It doesn't mean you have to write the whole day off or the whole week off. You know, that's just one singular event in time. It doesn't have that much significance unless we allow it to by spiraling. Maintenance at this time of the year is definitely success. You know, and again, we spoke about this in the summer, like there's certain times a year for people where really focusing, really dialing in, achieving weight loss, fat loss, increased strength, increased fitness, whatever it is that's important to you is going to happen and you can really focus on that. There's other times a year whereby that might not be as relevant. It might be more just about maintaining the results that you've already achieved. And, you know, for a lot of people, especially the back end of the year, is a time to just try and think about that maintenance of fitness before then. The new year might be a time where you can pick things back up again, but it's just about not letting yourself slip too much in that more challenging time.
I think one thing for that is I have to stop myself fretting if I don't achieve last week's weight.
Lifts and yeah.
Because my body's like different every day.
Yeah.
So it's like, yesterday I couldn't do even one military prep because of my shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we'll do something else. So it's like that alternate prep.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean you're a failure because you live up to last week's stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we will always say to people on that, like, if it was as easy as every time we get in the gym we're going to do equal or more than what we did last week, we'd all be bench pressing 100 kilos, deadlifting 200, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't work like that in practice. Like it takes time for strength to build and it takes real focus. And if you try and always beat what you did the week before, you're not going to last very long to do that. So yeah.
You mean in the same way?
No.
On what you did the day before, how you slept.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the factors, isn't there, as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's too much emphasis on progress.
Yeah.
With regards to like achieving something better every time. Like maintenance isn't flashy, but it's just as important.
I just need to tick over.
Yeah. That's it. And if you've got an injury, then that is what it's about, isn't it? It's about get the injury under control, do the best to maintain the fitness level that you've got right now, and then when that injury's feeling better, or the knee's feeling better, or whatever it is, sleep's better, then we can kick on it again. But that's the problem, is most people at that time will then think, okay, there's no point now, or you know what I mean? And that's the challenge. It's about trying to stay on course as much as we can with everything else that we've got going on. And so good point. Absolutely.
Reframing and pivoting. You know, so for me, I had a knee injury, so I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do and focus. I wanted to go high rocks competition, and I couldn't do that. So a knee injury, but I didn't give up. I just changed my training and thought, right, well, just build on the muscles that I can move, and just shifted my focus. That's often sometimes it might not be better, but it's a shift.
Yeah. Cool. So last little bit then on this before we go into there's a little bit of reflection on that piece again, not reflection as such for this bit. So just a page there, guys, just to try and again like think about before we go into the goal setting, think about how this all relates to you. So the first question on there was, what is the biggest sort of temptation, pressure or challenge you'll face in the run up to Christmas? Now I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, we are only at the beginning of October, but you know, this time of year people start to think towards that. And how will you try and manage that situation? If you could only keep one habit going throughout December, which would make the biggest difference to you? You can include a few, but try and think about the main thing that you think you need to focus on. Third one, what's one practical strategy you can use when motivation is low or your routine gets disrupted? And then the final one, how will you remind yourself that one slip up doesn't mean you failed? That's, we've been talking about a little bit today. So yeah, same as before, guys. So have a couple of minutes, just have a bit of time to kind of think about that for yourself.
my jeans are too tight.
And then you go, why would you still tight? I've been training really hard. That's not right.
I did one pair yesterday that I hadn't worn for ages, and then I was passing them up, and I was like, ooh, I can't really be able to sit down and eat, so I can't really wear them out. And I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
And that's a good thing.
That's what I'm like.
You can't wear them.
No, I can't.
You're going to eat them.
I like the examples now.
Eat.
Oh yeah.
Can't you read?
Manageable.
Thought about this one, haven't you? It's like all of them put together, this one.
So what's everyone's thoughts on the first one then? Any like, what are the challenges that you think you'll face or typically face at this time of year? Is anyone happy to go on, Val?
Mine's, if alcohol, if I go out with my friends and I'll say I'm not drinking this week. Oh yes you are, Val, of course you are, don't be so boring. No, I don't want to. Yes you do, what's wrong with you, why are you not? And then you feel like caving in. Like, and then if I have one,
Peer pressure's
I'll have
the worst.
two.
Yeah, it's
And
a
then
difficult one, that is.
It's just that, I said it before, I think I said it last time. People are always saying, if I did dry January, which I did, oh no, you're not going to do that. What are you doing that for? You know, when I want to feel better, I don't want to drink really. But when you go out for a meal or something with friends, they're like, oh, we should have a bottle of red wine. I don't want a bottle because I don't want to drink 3 glasses. It's terrible. The people that I know all drink and they all want you to drink and encourage you to drink. And I'm like, oh, I feel like you sabotaged my whole life. I don't want to be that person.
I would turn it back on them and say, why do you want to?
Yeah. Well,
It's a difficult one, that, isn't it? Without kind of falling out with people. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that.
Pub and like, you'll order a soft drink.
and they're like, they have to question you.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
And for you,
They're like, well, no, just don't drink one
yeah, but if
day.
you go out a lot, sometimes you have a week where you, like next week I've got a busy week, people inviting me and doing things, and then you think, and then it makes you feel, already I can think, I don't want next week to happen, I feel like I can't do it because I can't say no, and then I don't want to be that person, and then I'll be fed up by the end of the week if I feel fatter. It's all like in your brain, isn't it? Like, oh, I don't want to be that person, I don't want to. I wish I could give it all
Maybe,
together.
Because we wouldn't push any other drug on you. Or very few
People do,
communities would ever
yeah.
push any other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alcohol-free drinks now, though.
Yeah. I did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cold drink.
and you can
Yeah.
have like a gin and tonic.
I did dry
And people
January
don't
for
realise that
8
you're not
months.
having
8 months,
a
2
drink.
years.
Yeah.
And I went to the race day, and this friend of mine, she said, have a glass of Prosecco. I said, I don't want one. Have a glass of champagne then. And I had one. I said, I don't like the taste of it really. It was 8 months doing dry January. And then I thought, why have I done that now? Why have I said yes? Why didn't I just say no, I don't want to? Like, I felt really proud of myself doing the 8 months and saying no, and then having the alcohol-free drink so you don't feel left out.
Yes.
So if you went out, you had non-alcoholic beer. I don't even drink beer, but you know what I mean? I'd have a non-alcoholic beer. Just if I was in Spain or anywhere, I'd have the beer, the non-alcoholic. So
I wouldn't tell them. I just ordered non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
and then
It's frustrating though that we feel, some people, you guys will feel that you still have to abide by the social construct of, we're going to drink alcohol, but okay, I'm going to have 0% just so that I'm not. Do you know what I mean? That's frustrating, isn't it? Like, as helpful as that can be, the thought of having to do that, like, it's a difficult one.
I prefer a non-alcoholic, like, drink,
Yeah.
gin and tonic that's non-alcoholic, rather than another ginger beer.
Yeah.
It's just as boring having loads of soft drinks,
Yeah.
I think. What do I have to go? Oh, I'll have a lemon toad. No, I'll have a ginger beer. No, I'll have a J2A. But because basically don't drink that much anyway, I get fed up about it.
Yeah.
there's no what to
gin and
drink.
tonic or an Aperol Spritz with no alcohol. It's not.
But if you have one Prosecco, I don't know who anybody else drinks Prosecco, if you have one Prosecco, you always have to have another one. Because people don't have another, because it's got something in it must do. Because you have Prosecco, that was nice. It's like pop really. It's like pop though, and you have one, you think, oh, I have another one, then you end up like getting louder, and I'm already loud. Like, what are you talking? And that's why I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person. And that's the hardest thing, especially now coming up to parties and Christmas and
I think I mean, I don't know completely Claire's presentation, so we'll try and not steal too much thunder from that. But like, there's nothing wrong with having some alcohol, is there? Like, well, yeah. No, but in the context of, like, you know, our social lives, like, you know, it's about, it's each person's own decision, isn't it, as to whether it's something that they feel is valuable enough to them. We've got some questions on alcohol reflection as well, which I think is quite important to try and, like, think about, because, like, for so long I've been someone who doesn't really drink at all, but my circle and who I'm with wouldn't ever.
Would they not?
Because I'm past that point. When I was like 15, 16 in a rugby setting, people fucking hated it. Like, I hated it. But I was just always like, okay, like, I don't really want to drink. Like, I'm good, thank you. Like, do you know what I mean? And eventually they just stop asking because they know the answer. Where I suppose if you're someone who will, like, give in to them, you know, not saying that, no, I'm not. I'm saying, no, I'm not. What I'm saying is if,
should I?
Yeah, no. I always think it says more about them than it does about you. If you're with people who are trying to pressure you to doing something that you don't want to do, you know, without trying to tell you to get new friends about, like, it's you know, it's questionable, isn't it? You know, it's like you said, like, no one would say, oh, like, would people nowadays say, have a cigarette? Like, you probably wouldn't, because I think like society's, like, shifted a little bit. No one would push you to do a line of cocaine if they didn't think you wanted to do it. Maybe most people wouldn't, but alcohol, it's like norm, isn't it, you know?
I don't even smoke anymore. I never had an alcoholic drink in my life till I was 33 after I'd had the twins and somebody gave me a drink.
Really?
Yeah, and I never liked the taste of it, so I wasn't a young rebel, for the record.
But no, I mean, I don't know. We can talk about that more. I don't know I don't think anyone knows the answer to that. But for me,
it's like the fact that I can go to a party and not have a drink at all and dance.
Yeah, I mean,
with no alcohol whatsoever.
Yeah.
People look at me going, you haven't had a drink.
Yeah. Friend of mine who runs a similar gym to us, I can't remember where he's based, nowhere near here, Henley, somewhere like that. He's completely teetotal, he's quite like active on social media about the fact that he doesn't drink, and he kind of almost goes out of his way at a party to be the first person on the dance floor, and it looks like it's like I'm going to show you what I can be without alcohol. Do you know what I mean? Because which is obviously that's his character. He's comfortable to do that. You wouldn't get me on the dance floor without at least a few drinks, because that's just not me. But you know, it's I don't know how to best manage that. I don't know.
You don't like dancing, do you, Dan?
Absolutely not. No. But after a few, you know, but that's like a. But no, I mean, yeah. But I mean, as the wider point of that, I suppose, is obviously alcohol is going to be a big challenge at this time of year, and the pressures around that. Anything else anyone thought of that was not alcohol related?
Treats in the tea room at work.
Okay.
Our clients love to bring in like big boxes of chocolates.
Yeah. We don't know anything about that. We get that all the time. It's tough. Yeah.
For me, especially with my work, we often don't get a lot of comfort breaks through the day, and my shifts are 10, 12 hours long. So it's just so easy then, if you haven't had a break for 4 hours, you know you're not going to get one anytime soon, and your energy's flagging, you know there's going to be something that's going to pick you up quickly in that tea room. You go in, you want to just make a brew, and you end up like stuffing your face full of another mince pie.
You feel bad, don't you? Like, why did I done that?
Yeah. So it is hard.
Yeah, that environment's hard.
Mine's fatigue.
Yeah.
Because I work with the Tuesday now. I'm just like I'm just really tired. So it's going to be worse at Christmas. All these little kids that are hyper.
Being fatigued is a challenge, because it's when I'm tired and when my energy's low, and then the bad stuff is always easier to grab your hand on, isn't it? Either because someone's laid it out in front of you, or because I'll get a few slices of bread, or I'll have a piece of cake, or I'll have a biscuit, or all those chocolates on the side or whatever. It's just, in that moment I'll be like, I just need something. I think partly because my body is actually physically going, give me something quick.
Yeah.
And then the convenience that kind of meets that need easily, not well, but easily.
I think the only way to circumvent that is to have prepared something
Which requires that you've got energy and
and it's ready.
It's that catch-22 cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, you would feel so much better if you did think, you know, the day before, shall I just prepare something that I can take in as a healthy sweet treat, like some, you know, chocolatey protein balls or something like that. But it's having that energy and that motivation, isn't it?
But sometimes we've got to have a bit of cake in life, haven't we?
Well, absolutely.
What's life without a bit of cake?
We all agree here completely, but it's when the balance is shifted too far, isn't it? That's the challenge, isn't it? Like occasionally you're low on energy, you grab something sweet and quick and it's fine, but it's when it's happening all the time, that's when that preparation and planning comes in, isn't it? And think, okay, this is becoming a regular pattern. How do I break that cycle? Okay, I'm going to get myself more organised so when it does happen, I've got another option available to me. Because when things are not convenient, it's so easy to opt for that quicker fix, isn't it? So yeah, no one would ever say here that never allow that to happen, because it's going to happen in a minute when we open up that tray bake, because I'm going to have a slice. Yeah. But it's, you know, it's when things become the norm, isn't it? I'm aware, I'm going to eat, don't you worry about it. Right guys, we're going to go in, just into a little bit of like goal setting really for the next few months really, and like we spoke about already a little bit, but like how you approach this phase of the year is 100% up to you. Like some people, it's a chance to push forward. You know, we spoke funnily enough in the summer actually, and some people said like this time of the year is maybe sometimes actually easier because there is less to do, like there's less sunlight, so you might as well go to the gym because there's nothing else to do. You know what I mean? So everyone's different in how they feel about the darker mornings and stuff, but you know, for some it's a good chance to push forwards. Other people, it's about maintaining progress, it's just about being consistent, not achieving anything too you know, too driven or too far along, but just something to kind of work through. But the main thing to do is to try and think about realistic goals for you. What's realistic, what's doable and meaningful to you. Don't just set them for the sake of it. If you don't feel that you need to make any major goals right now, then that's fine. But if there's anything that you feel that would be worth trying to focus on over the next few months, getting it down on paper and thinking about it is a good thing to do. So yeah, we'll just have a couple of minutes to do that, guys. Then we've got one last little section, and then we'll have a little break before Claire comes on to talk a little bit about alcohol. Follow Dr. Israetel on Instagram or social media, Dr. Mike Israetel. Have you heard of him? He's like another, like a Lane Norton sort of Brad Schoenfeld sort of crew, Brett Cohen Traz, and they're in like that little clique of like, he's been really criticised recently because there's apparently some big issues with his doctorate, and he then tried to cover it up. There's been a bit of a stir, but he got called out by this UK doctor called Dr. Ids, I think it is, on Instagram. He's built quite a following where he does these things like Time for School, like he'll record over videos of people making claims and he'll like show the science, and he called Dr. Mike out because he basically was on a podcast or a video or something saying about the whole thing of, oh, you know, a moderate amount of red wine is good for you and all that, which is like completely been shown to be just not really ever based on any real solid data. And that was quite an interesting video actually, because Mike Israetel said, because he's been called out a lot recently because for some quite questionable takes on, because he's viewed as like quite a well-known figure, you know, on muscle building, but he's made some questionable claims, and especially around nutrition. What's that? Yeah.
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 What put it in ways.
I like that.
But
I think they show
in another way.
So you mean when you
Yeah, from Al Aragon. Yeah.
interesting, right?
It's different for different.
I don't like things like that.
No, I don't. I would make them.
Yeah, but the first pot was worth watching. Yeah. Depends on what you eat.
So
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah.
that's the account I'm on about for the.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah.
He annoys me. I don't know why.
He's good though.
He is, but
Yeah.
he just annoys me.
Yeah.
He just comes across as really arrogant. I don't know why he annoys me.
There was one on alcohol and Dr.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I think I know what you mean.
it's
Because what's the name's had a go
this
at him.
guy here at the top.
Oh,
Mike Israetel.
him.
Yeah. There's just been a big drama about his I mean, I've not.
Oh, his
Doctorate's apparently really questionable, and then he tried to like cover it up basically, it seems, which was even worse. So
I know he's big on muscle.
You must get into the gym to track the challenge today.
Dr. Mike Israetel.
We just go shopping to Telford. I can't. Georgia got the gym. I've learnt, Daniel told me that one, just to say I can't do it, Georgia.
Yeah,
But all the time I'd never be at the gym.
That's being hard.
Yeah, but I feel awful, but I can't do it all the time, otherwise I'll... I want to come to the gym more, and I've got to say no sometimes. So I can't do that. I can do it next week or whatever. So I've been coming more, haven't I, Daniel?
You have been. Most consistent I've ever seen you. It's been good. Yeah.
I can breathe better now for doing the endurance, which is mad.
Good.
Which is good.
I think the endurance sessions are really making a difference. It's actually what I've put as my realistic goal is come every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
And push myself during that session. Because that's made a big difference to me.
And now Marcus has got a grip on it. He's changed it all and made
It's been good, hasn't it?
focus on like circuit training, what we used to call. And then because he's telling me what to do, I know what to do without asking.
Well done, Marcus. Well done, Marcus. That's a big win. That's a win for the year, that is.
He's standing in front of me telling me what to do. I can do it.
Yeah.
It's basically what one of you guys being in front of me does.
Yeah.
He's so nice as well, isn't he?
You'd be surprised how quickly this changes someone's form as well.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Sorry, everybody. So anyone, so we've had one goal here, Rach, from you, sticking with the endurance sessions. Anyone else, guys? Anything from any of those boxes that they feel like sharing?
I've got the same endurance as swimming.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad the endurance session's been going well.
The endurance is good.
Yeah, they've been good, haven't they?
I never went to it. Hate it, but love it.
Yeah.
Smash it every time.
Yeah. Good.
It keeps you going, doesn't it? You can't believe how quick it goes.
Yeah.
It just goes like that. You think, oh, it's the end already. That's mad.
That's awesome.
There's some guys yesterday on a video I saw last night were talking, and I thought, yeah, that's actually right. They were saying basically the more they come, the more they want to come. And when they have a few days off, they feel really bad about themselves. They feel like, oh, I need to go to the gym. It is that, isn't it? When you miss it.
Oh, on our video, Tony, yeah, good lad. Yeah.
Positive things, and I don't know those people.
Yeah.
They were saying,
They were the early morning crew, some of them were.
feel like I've got to go to the gym to feel happier and better. You know, when we come out, Rach, that session, we feel, yeah, we did it. Yeah. How did we do that? We've done it. You know, we did it, didn't we? And it's brilliant. And
Good.
I've got the reddest face though.
Right, guys, we're going to.
So I think we are definitely in agreement on that.
Do you reckon?
I'm going to just take us very quickly, guys, through the last section, which was just a bit of a future planning for that festive time of year, which is unfortunately coming on us very, very quickly. So this was, just this last section of mine before the kind of alcohol bit as we turn a page. So this was just all about like, how can we plan ahead? We talked about planning already, obviously, Kerry, from your section there about convenience foods and all that side of things. So it was just about like trying to think ahead and think, okay, this time of year is going to be difficult. There's going to be lots going on socially. There's going to be different challenges, different days. How can I try and stay consistent without feeling like you're not able to enjoy, And I think that's the key thing here. It's about balance, It doesn't have to be all or nothing, as we've already spoke about. It doesn't have to be, I can enjoy every single part of the festivities and not give a shit about what happens. And it doesn't have to be, I can't enjoy anything. Like, it's about trying to find that middle ground, really. And they were just a few examples of things that I thought might be things that you can think, okay, this is going to be my non-negotiables for the day or for the week, and try and just keep on top of things. You know, strength training twice a week. For most people, that's going to be still doable unless they're away. But even if you're away, you can take a band with you. There's things you can still do. You know, prioritizing protein at 2 meals a day. You know, if you're going out in the evening, okay, breakfast and lunchtime, let's have a good source of protein. Do you know what I mean? Just little simple things like that that can try and help you just stay consistent, stay motivated, and not just fall into this spiral of out of control eating and lack of exercise, I suppose we're trying to avoid. So yeah, just have a couple of minutes, guys. Maybe, you know, if any of them like resonate with you and think, okay, there are things I could do. If there's any other things that you think at the bottom that might suit you better, then cool. Like, there's absolutely no reason you have to pick ours. But
I'm proud of myself on my summer holiday, because we haven't done that kind of a holiday for a long time, and stayed in a hotel, but there was a small gym, and it was ideal because it was just a piece of kit that was just bamboozling that I was not going anywhere near. Yeah. And free weights, and I was like, oh, I don't really know, I didn't remember to ask the guys for a routine. Okay, I'll just do some stuff that I can remember how to do. And I did 40 minutes of proper workout.
Nice.
I was sweaty and worn out afterwards, and I'm like, and I did it all by myself.
Yeah, class.
Things
Nice. That's good. You feel good for it though, don't you? Like, I always think that, like, you know, it's up to whether people train on holiday or not. It's completely up to them. There's, you know, no judgment. But like, I just always feel good for it. Like, you just feel positive that you've been. Yeah.
I'd never walked into a gym ever until I came here, and I was like, and it was all sort of, you know, voodoo type stuff to me. Well, a new language, new kit.
Just as a side note on that, obviously with not having the tracking app anymore, some people have asked about that, and what I am looking at currently and trying to work with our web team to do is put our like program card of the day on the app, so that if you go on the booking app, you can find the workout for the day. So at least if you are away and you're not sure what to do, you can find a session plan to follow. So I'm just trying to work on the best way to do that on the website that then links through the app. So give me a week and I think it'll be done, which will be good. But I think some people said, oh, I like to know what I'm like walking into when they arrive, type of thing. Like, I know some people it's like, oh, I bring different kit with me, or that type of thing, which I get. So so that might be something that you can do if you are ever away, not sure. At least you can find a session plan.
Like socks in them.
That's it, yeah, deadlifting socks. Yeah.
I've got little cat socks that I wear and it's deadlifter.
Yeah. So it'll be, you can go on the booking app, click today's workout, and it'll show you what the card is, so you'll be able to then, you know, mentally prepare. Cool, right guys, so we are going to finish up on my section there. So if you just turn your page, guys, we are going to move into the alcohol section now. So what we've done is just put a single page there of just alcohol and you reflection. So this is kind of what we were talking about before, just a way to like think about alcohol and how it impacts you both positively and negatively, because like I said, there's no reason that we're all going to come out of this and think I can never drink again. That's not the intention, I don't think, Claire, is it? No, there we go, perfect. But it's about being aware of what impact things do have on us and how, you know, that might be, like I said, positive or negative. So a couple of minutes on that, guys. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the first section though, guys? Anything that we didn't cover, anything that anyone wants to mention? All happy? Cool. So in the break, if you do want to spend, like I said, spend a few minutes. We will have a little break while like Claire gets set up. So there's a few questions there on alcohol. You know, how does it impact you positively, negatively? When do you usually drink and what triggers it? How do you feel the day after drinking? And then what change, the bottom question, what change would make the biggest difference to you in this area? And then as a little shameless plug, guys, I've put a little QR code on the board there. If anyone has not ever left us a Google review and would feel comfortable in leaving us a Google review, we would be very appreciative. So you can open up your phone camera and scan that code, all the ones on the desk.
Yeah, you've got to scan then, you can just tap.
And you might have to log in on your Google account, but
Not when you don't have to actually scan, it's crazy.
So yeah, there's no pressure.
Okay.
Is there a reason you get this bit?
No, it's just something that comes up a lot. It's come up a lot for me over the years with clients. It's come up a lot over the years with people in my age bracket as well, for perimenopause. And it just seems to be, like you talked about it, it's a way of life, especially in our culture and a lot of cultures. Alcohol is a big part of our lives. And it's hard to make that adjustment when it is such a big part. So there's stuff we can talk about later down the line. This might give you some info to relay back to your friends who are given the peer pressure. Peer pressure is a lot.
It is, yeah.
It's similar to food as well, right? So, you know, we like when we're on a diet, we're trying to eat healthy. Like celebrations is about cake.
Yeah.
And you know, it's about going celebrating. You go out for a meal, you go out for drinks. What you're not going to celebrate, and it's all linked together.
Yeah.
But you know, I think peer pressure is a lot, and it's a way of life. And then when you want to make that change, you are going to get a lot of kickback from people, because people don't like change. And when you change, you make them essentially maybe look bad, or you create a mirror or a highlight on what maybe they need to change and they're not ready to change.
Yeah.
So it's not always a reflection on you, it's a reflection on them.
Yeah.
So things you could do, is there anything you don't like about me when I'm sober? Like put the questions back on them. Can be quite confrontational, but they're putting you under pressure. And there are potentially ways you can put it back on them, put the question back on them.
As a friend, surely friends want the best for that person.
They do and they don't. Friends you think you want the best for somebody, but you also rely on your friends for a lot of emotional support. And if your friend is changing, how are you going to be that friend for me? So there are always, we can go quite deep with this, but we're not going to. But there's always underlying things, and when you understand that, it's not often a reflection on you per se. It's a reflection on them and what they're willing to change and what they're willing to accept. Or you can just say, listen, I'm the same person you want me to be, sober or drunk. I will be happier when I'm sober and not drinking, because it's just not good for me. It's making me feel not very well. I'm totally okay with you being drunk. Go for it, knock yourself out. I'm not lecturing you, but I'd really like your support right now. And there's ways of, you know, putting it back on them without being confrontational. And you know, you've just got to ask the right questions. But it does. My ex-partner went teetotal, and we were at a Christmas party, and they were kind of new friends. He's like, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you drinking? What's happened? They were actually really quite aggressive with it, because they'd all been hammered, and we got there a bit later. And he was actually cool as a cucumber, and I was getting riled. Like I wasn't really drinking either. And it's like, and it was a fitness lot. It was an old CrossFit lot in Shrewsbury, and they were all fitness people. Yeah. And you're like, but some people who are into fitness like to party hard as well. You know, they have like the balance, but they go to the extreme. Like CrossFit's really extreme, and then they go drinking, it's really extreme. So when they do drink, it's not very often, they go all out. But my ex was like, I'm just not drinking. Now there could have been lots of reasons, lots of personal, maybe health issues, and it was none of their freaking business. And they weren't that close of friends to ask. And you'd think, because they're not that close, you wouldn't ask those personal questions. And it was really confrontational from them. And I said, does it make you feel any inferior if he doesn't drink? And he's like, oh no, I didn't mean like that. And then everyone just shut down. And I was just like, I wasn't even trying to be confrontational. I was like, is there a problem that you feel that somebody else is sober? It's like, oh, and just laughed it off. I was like, oh, and then the conversation stopped. But they were all goading him, and it was really bizarre. But I think it's just,
he's a man as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it's becoming a lot more common. Like you said, there are so many alcohol-free options. Even at the gig last night, there are like several beers and ciders that are all alcohol-free. They look like a beer, they just says 0%, and it's just like,
It's the alcohol companies that are making them.
Yeah, it is becoming the norm. So, you know, either go all out and question your friendships, You know, you shouldn't be peer pressured by your friends if they're your proper friends. So you have those discussions outside of the pub rather than in front of everybody and have a confrontational argument, because it can get like that, especially if they had a few drinks already. Yeah. Or you take each of them aside and just discuss your why, like with anything, like with your diet, your training. Whenever you make changes, you are always going to get some form of pullback from somebody. That's why we often ask, do you have the support? Because partners, for instance, if they don't have the support from their partner with whatever changes they want to make, they struggle making those changes because they don't have the full support from their partner, because their partner doesn't want you to change. You know, but sometimes it's just about reassurance. So it's okay, I'm good being sober. I'm probably just going to be just as much fun as you want me to be. If that's what you're worried about, is that what you're worried about? And then if they don't know, then it'll make them think, or it'll make them shut them up.
It's always people telling you what to do, what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing, isn't it?
But people are afraid of change, especially when their close ones are making a change, or you're highlighting something that they probably need to make a change and they're not ready to make that change yet. Yeah. But old habits die hard, and alcohol is a very big part of our lives. You know, like no matter what age. You think it's harder when you're younger, but actually it's harder when you get older. And most people, as they get older, think it's all right now, it's just the one. Just the one probably is fine, but it's like the regular, you know. Anyway, this isn't a lecture, by the way. So we've changed it a little bit. It is about around fitness, but it is a bit more around, it's sort of more tailored to fat loss, or how alcohol can hinder fat loss. But it's not just about fat loss, it's about mental well-being, overall fitness, and overall health as well. So, without further ado, where are my notes? Okay. So, there's a lot of information on here, but yeah, we're exploring how alcohol basically impacts your body composition, your metabolism, your hormones, your sleep, your mood, and the lot. And basically my goal isn't to demonize alcohol. It's just my job to give you the facts, and then you can make your own choice about your health and well-being. So alcohol does slow down your metabolism, because it basically, your body hits pause on burning fat every time you drink, because alcohol is a toxin. So when your body has a toxin in the body, it will try and address that first. So therefore your body goes into what we call a clearance mode, and any other calories that you consume are almost put on hold and stored as fat. That can be stored in your liver and stored as body fat. So drinking alcohol does slow down your progression, your fat loss progress quite significantly. And what a lot of people don't know is that alcohol is the fourth macro. And it contains 7 calories per gram, fat contains 9, and protein and carbs contains 4 calories per gram. So the difference is though, unlike the other 3 macros, protein, fats and carbs, alcohol has no nutritional value whatsoever. Might make you feel good for a while, but has no nutritional value whatsoever. So what can happen is, especially on a night out, when you're like, oh, I haven't really drank, I haven't really had any dinner, I'm going out tonight on a few beers, you can massively over drink your calories in one night over a couple of days, because it's really easy to consume the liquids. And then the more drink you have, the more drunk you get, the more you like to feel hungry, the less you realise how much you are actually drinking. So you can quite easily over-consume your calories if that's what you are looking at. Hey? Oh, yes. Have you? Did all that make sense? Yeah. Tell me if I'm going too fast or too slow. Right, so the liver's role in fat loss. Your liver is your body's powerhouse. It's an amazing organ. It's a really strong organ. It takes a long time to die. And it's a really good organ to, if it has been damaged, it's a really good organ that can regenerate itself. Yeah. So you know you've consumed a lot of alcohol are something seriously ill if your liver is damaged. But it's one of those organs that can actually regenerate itself. But that said, I think that's why we get away with it for so long when we're consuming toxins for so long. We get away with it to a certain point. And then we start realising there are other symptoms that you don't know about the liver health. So when you drink alcohol, your liver has to prioritise clearing the fats, this first, the toxin. So what it can cause inflammation in the liver, it can reduce fat metabolism, so you're not burning it very well, and it can increase the visceral fat. You know, when we have the in-body scan, and the visceral fat is the fat that is around the organs. We do need some because it's protective, but anything over 10 is classified as high. And then we know on the marker that the number goes up to 20, but it does go higher. The reading stops at 20. So anything over 10 is considered unhealthy, and anything above 20 is like really unhealthy. And that's, you know, it gets in the way of your overall well-being, and it can cause what we call fatty liver disease or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease as well. But fatty liver disease and lipid dysregulation. So this promotes accumulation in the liver and impairs the liver's ability to process fat. So the more alcohol you consume and the more inflammation you have around the liver, the less likely the liver's going to function very well. So you're basically just going to store more fat in the body. And
I guess that's true of all toxins, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so what toxins stored in the body is fat, basically. That's really short and sweet. There's a lot more detail to that. But if your body can't, it's like with, so if your liver's not working optimally, which alcohol can affect, then that's why there's a little section here. That's why it can affect women in perimenopause as well, because your liver recycles estrogen back into the body if it's not working very well. And that will store as fat and can cause inflammation. It's a lot more technical than that, but in simple terms. But yeah, I do cover a little bit about that in a second. So, poor sleep and cravings. Now, have you ever had a few drinks and felt a little bit groggy the next day? Mm-hmm. And then you're tired, so you go for the quick foods. And it's not, so when you talk about when you're tired and you go for the shitty foods, the carbs, the sugars, it's because your body is low on energy. Your body has not slept properly. Sleep is massively underrated. So if your body hasn't slept properly, it's not recovered. So and then you've got to get up and crack on with the day. So your body's best way to recover is to consume energy because you haven't replenished when you're asleep. And the quickest way to get energy into your body are carbohydrates. The quickest form of carbohydrates are sugars and shit food like chocolates and bread and all that sort of stuff. And it's fine to have those foods, but when, you know, it does impair your judgment as well. When you're super tired, you don't make as good judgments when you're tired. So, you know, you want to eat healthy food, but you haven't got time, and it's really easy to go to McDonald's or get a chocolate bar or get a bag of crisps because you're low on energy. Rather than prepare yourself a nice, lovely salad that you probably don't really fancy. So yeah, it disrupts your sleep, your REM sleep, which is really important for recovery, and it can affect your ghrelin. So I always think ghrelin as in growling, your stomach's growling for hunger. So that's your hunger hormone, so you get more hungry. Your fullness, your leptin hormone, where it says you're full, reduces, and it impairs your judgment. So when you are drunk, you don't care. You're starving. Do you want a kebab? Yeah, I'll get a kebab. Fish and chips or a burger? Yeah, pizza? Yeah, of course. Whereas normally if you're not drunk, you wouldn't be like, you'd be like, actually no, I've probably had pizza this week, I'll choose something more healthy. And it does impair, when you're drunk, it doesn't just impair what you eat, you don't know if you're full, so you probably overeat as well. And that's on top of all the calories that we've said, 7 calories per gram that you've already consumed. So again, more likely why you've overconsumed, another reason why it's going to prevent your fat loss or weight loss or health issues, because you know you've overeaten on your calories. And that is ultra, I think I said it wrong the one way around, USPs. What's that even mean?
unique selling points, but that's not what I think.
Yeah, I think I was meant, that should say ultra processed foods. UPS. I was probably talking about something else the other day.
I can doctor it, it's fine. I'll change it in the end.
Yeah, so cravings and ultra processed foods, because they've got the carbs, the sugars, the salts and everything that your body's depleted in when it consumes alcohol. So that's why you crave the sugary, salty, fatty foods, because the alcohol, you're depleted in the nutrients.
So
Makes sense?
You've had a bad night, you say.
Yeah.
Do you have a fry up in the morning? Is that where you...
I mean, well, for eggs, there's an enzyme in egg that actually absorbs the toxin, that helps absorb the toxins. So don't quote me on that, but I know there's an enzyme in eggs.
Yeah, when you say the bad things, what are the good things? If you've...
Well, I'm going to that section in a minute. I've got a little section about what's good for the liver. Yeah.
It's high protein though.
Yeah, but high protein. A fry-up isn't that bad if you're cooking in the right oils and you're not going all fried toast and having a shitload of all the other stuff, and is it good quality meat, you know? But as much as you probably wouldn't want it, like berries and anything that's full of antioxidants is going to be great. So have a fry-up at the breakfast maybe, but then make sure you get some fruit down you as well, because that holds antioxidants that can help the liver. But I'll talk about that section in a second. Yeah, so it affects your, talked about that judgment and stuff. So I was going to go ultra processed comfort foods. It's not USP at all. Don't know why I've put that. Anyway, mood and motivation also take a hit. So this is where I guess we come into your energy and your fitness and all that sort of stuff. So alcohol is a short-term relaxant, but then the next day it often causes low mood, anxiety. Well, does anybody else get like the fear and just completely demotivated and tiredness, and anything else that I've missed when they've had a few drinks the night before? Just feel groggy. Like I get in a mood.
Yeah.
And it's not just the next day. Like I've found myself, not even that much, I don't drink much myself anymore, but I used to when I was younger, quite a lot. I was a right party animal, would you believe? And and I'll talk about that, there's a bit of an identity shift. It took me a while to accept who I was without alcohol and just shift my identity a little. Like I didn't have to be the life and soul of the party drunk. I can still be the life and soul of the party, if not more. Like, yeah, I'm a little bit more crazier when I'm drunk, but I am still that person. So it's a little bit of a shift of identity, or accepting, you know, who you are and who you don't have to be and stuff like that. But yeah, I found that I'm actually feel quite depressed for the whole week.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the week, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, why do I feel so down? I'm not hormonal, nothing bad's happened. Like, why do I feel so down? And I've realised that it's because I drank at the weekend, only on a Saturday night. I probably had one too many than I normally do. Didn't go all out, wasn't that drunk, but I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just really depressed, just like really low mood. Nothing in particular has triggered it. And my motivation is just shit. And even if I do go to the gym, because that's kind of like embedded in me, sometimes I won't go because even though it's embedded in me, I'm just like, I just can't be arsed. And I just find myself not being very productive. And if I do go to the gym, I haven't had the best training session because it's just, my mind's not in it. Everything aches as well. So it causes inflammation. So your body aches, you're tired. You're probably more likely to cause injury as well because you are inflamed. You know, there's lots of reasons how alcohol can affect you in other ways. So you just feel out of balance, your willpower's a little bit low. And it can knock you for the week in general. You know, so when we say one bad meal doesn't make a bad day, but when you've had a night out on the town, it can affect the rest of your week for those reasons. So
also, if you have less willpower as well, the likelihood is, I've got a friend who regularly goes for a pint in the early evening, 6 o'clock, but then he might have 2 pints, say, and then he comes home and then he's got low mood, less willpower, picks up a kebab, as you say, which he does, and then the following night he's got less willpower, so he'll ends up doing it again.
And you get on that vicious circle. And unfortunately, it's annoying how bad habits are easily formed. but it's because there's a lot of other things attached to it, emotional attachments to it, and it's a short-term issue.
But there's also actual biology going on as well, isn't there? It's not just the psychological habit. There's biology that's making you feel that way because once you've started that cycle, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a depressant, and it is an addictive drug. It's just the most widely known drug. But
he balances it by saying, "Oh well, I walked the dog 2 miles today.
Yeah.
I went swimming yesterday," and so he's like justifying the fact that he can go and have this alcohol because he's exercised.
Yeah. But that's the same with
he lives on his own and he's bored.
Yeah. So anything to do with alcohol and drugs or food or any form of addiction is often linked to connection. So that's often something that's harder to do. But if 2 people can go in with the same issue in hospital, they're both put on the same painkillers, one comes out addicted to painkillers, the other one doesn't. They both have the same painkiller, the same amount. The difference potentially, there's loads of studies on it, it can do with connection and lots of other things, but connection is one other thing, but boredom and stuff. So I didn't actually talk about this in here.
And then he'll get his social connection.
Yeah.
In the
He
gym
lives down south.
Yeah.
You know, I think, well, you've been to the pub again and you still don't feel good about yourself.
Yeah. But there's a balance, isn't there? You need that connection, but then you feel like, well, you have to drink to have that connection. You know, you've just got to find. It does take a lot of willpower and an identity shift. And I haven't really talked about that in here, but it does take an identity shift with any kind of lifestyle change that you want to make. Like my mum was mocked by her old friends, like, "Oh, you're a gym bunny. Oh, you go to the gym now." And said it in a really like derogatory way. And she was like, you know, put back about it. She was upset about it when she was telling me. And I said it differently. I was like, "Damn right, you're a gym bunny."
Yeah, she looks amazing.
I went, "Absolutely." She went, "Oh, what do you mean?" I was like, "Yes, you are a gym bunny. Are you not proud of that?" She goes, I said, "Do you like going to the gym?" Yeah, I do. It's like, "You go to the gym all the time?" "Yeah." So you're a gym bunny, it's good. That's who you are. "Oh. Well, they said it was," I was like, "Of course I said it negative. They sit on their arse all day doing nothing."
They're jealous.
Yeah. Or they just,
Achievement.
And it was like, so you should have said, "Thank you, yes I am." Yeah. But isn't it funny how I saw it? I didn't hear the words, but you know, the difference is like mum is kind of new to the gym still, whereas I've been doing it for years. So I'm like, my part of my identity is like I'm a gym person, but mum was new to it. She was like, "Oh, you know," so yeah. Now she's like, "I go to MEE-FIT. I go in the gym, in the hospital. Like, are you active?" Yes. I deadlift 70. But I was like, she goes to the gym with me. She deadlifts 70 kg, 77, 70 kg. I think it's 70. Anyway, but yeah, it's like, you know, stuff like that. So I digress a little bit. So alcohol is a diuretic, which means it makes you go to the loo more. And so it can deplete your body of not just water, but the essential electrolytes. And most of you probably heard me talk about electrolytes now. So electrolytes are almost like are the salts in your, well, more than salts, in your body that are part of your Krebs cycle or energy cycle, which you need. So when you drink water to hydrate, you don't just need water, you do actually need the electrolytes. So you can just have the salts, but you can buy electrolytes and stuff like that. So alcohol can dehydrate you, basically. And then your body rebounds holding on to water because it needs the water, and that's when you can start feeling bloated and puffy face and, you know, redness and sluggish feeling. When a lot of people will go for coffee in the afternoon, but they're probably just dehydrated, and electrolytes is a nice little burst of energy that you can get. So hydration is really key regardless of whether you drink alcohol or not, but especially if you drink alcohol, hydration is one of the things that will help your liver to flush out the toxins, particularly the electrolytes. So yeah, dehydration also lowers your performance, like you get inflammation, you get more sore, can slow down your metabolism because everything gets sluggish, like your blood gets thicker, you want your blood to be nice and fluid, your cells nice and fluid, and if you've got dehydrated cells, you know, if your cells are nice and fluid, you know, going along, doing its nice job, and if it's dehydrated, it's like old and decrepit, it's not really working. So hydration is key, full stop. And alcohol really dehydrates you, so it's putting you on the back burner even more, on the back foot even more.
where do we get electrolytes from?
So,
Without drinking manufactured ones?
yeah, there are actually really good manufactured ones out there. You have to pay a little bit more for it, where they haven't got, like, if you don't like taking artificial sweeteners and stuff like that. And there's many reasons why you wouldn't. There are a lot of ones out there, but as a natural electrolytes drink, pink Himalayan salt, or the dirtier the salt, the browner the salt, the better, because it's still got the elements, minerals attached to it. So I'm not talking the table white salt. No. I'm talking about rock salt's fine, but pink Himalayan salt or Redmond salt, the brown stuff, that's got all the minerals attached to it. So the minerals are what as part of the electrolytes. So you could just have that, either have some rock salt and then drink the water, because drinking salty water isn't that very nice. Or if you want to make your own sports drink, you can have half a bit of coconut water. So coconut water has naturally got electrolytes in it, so that's another form. But some coconut water can have crap in that. So you can get some good coconut water. And if it's too strong, dilute it with water, put some electrolyte, put some salts in that as well, a little bit of fresh, unconcentrated orange juice, and that's your sports drink. But if you just wanted to have your own, then you would just have some rock salt and a drink of water. A really nice way to start your day that I often prescribe to my clients is to hydrate straight away is hot water and lemon. Some people, you can put salt in it. And if you don't like the taste of it, eat some rock salt, literally just a couple of grams, a pinch of, and then drink hot water and lemon. That's a really nice way to hydrate your liver straight away, rather than go straight for the caffeine. Often people are tired because they're dehydrated, not necessarily because they haven't slept well. It's a bit of a...
Would you eat it or just put it on your...
No, I would eat it, yeah. So I hate the taste of salt in my water unless
But you could put it on your egg or whatever if you were...
All that as well, yeah. But before you eat, if you don't want to eat straight away, a really good way of hydrating your body straight away is to get rock salt, hot water, lemon, because lemon's a nice high in vitamin C to help the liver. The liver loves the lemon juice. Happy with that?
No, I just said that you put it on your tongue.
You can just put it on your tongue, yeah. But it's funny, so me and my sister and co went hiking, and we had a little tub of salt, and it looked like we were doing drugs on top of the mountain. And this couple were like, all right. I'm like, I was like, it's just salt. Do you want some? It's just salt, don't worry. Like, we're not doing drugs or anything. We don't even know what that would be, but it's just salt. And then it really gives you a burst of energy, because when you're exercising, especially when you're sweating out salt. So I don't know if anyone's gone for a run on a hot day, done a competition. I could have sold the salt for food. I had so much on here. I was like, whoa, it was the first time I'd actually experienced it, because it was really hot. It was my first half marathon, and there were people who were actually dehydrated, but because they hadn't had enough salts in their body, not just because of the water. So electrolytes, hydration is really key for overall health. So imagine you need that anyway, and then you drink alcohol, you're putting your body under more pressure.
We had so much electrolytes on the 3 Peaks, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I hate them now.
Shh, don't say that. Do you know what? I drink this. There are some drinks out there. This actually boosts my energy. So it's got green tea in there, which is also good for the liver. And it's got vitamin C and electrolytes in there. And I'm really funny with, it's because of the taste, but I'm really funny with artificial sweeteners. Like, me and Dan will probably have a debate about it. But I'm funny about it anyway. And there's no artificial sweeteners in this. So you can really get some healthy drinks. It costs a fortune. So yeah, I'd say don't rely on that every day unless you made the money. But it boosts my energy more than a cup of coffee. This has actually helped me reduce drinking coffee. And it boosts...
What's it called?
It's called Tenzing. But what's in here, it's a vitamin C, caffeine, electrolytes, but you don't get like the jitters like the caffeine. It's from the green coffee, but in this green tea, it's got L-theanine, which is an amino acid that calms the body. So it has, I'm going off tangent, but it's a bit of a hack. So it's caffeine, but it's L-theanine, so you get the boost from the caffeine, but you actually get the calming effect from the L-theanine. But the electrolytes is what actually boosts, and you will feel way more focused if you're hydrated properly, like full stop, drinking or not. So let's go on to this little bit first, which I think is really important, whether you're a man or a woman. So alcohol it does affect your hormones, men and women, but it's really prevalent in women. And women going through perimenopause, I'm not saying all women, tend to go towards the alcohol as the crutch because they're going through all this hormonal chaos. And unfortunately, it's a short-term fix and a long-term problem. And it's causing a lot of issues, and it can make perimenopausal issues 10 times worse. And we feel like we need it to take the edge off because, you know, going through hormonal chaos, you don't know who you are sometimes, and your hormones are all over the place, your moods are up and down, your sleep's off, so I'll just have a little glass to calm me down or help me sleep. And that one glass gets a bit bigger, and next minute you're drinking it, you don't realise, and then you realise all these hormones, all these symptoms are getting worse, so you have a bit more drink, you know, you're getting that vicious cycle, so to speak. So yeah, common symptoms, I mean, hot flushes are one of many symptoms. It is not the only one, and it's not actually the main one. It's the old one that everyone thinks, oh, if you go in having perimenopause, it's hot flushes, but there are way more symptoms going on than just hot flushes. But it can make things like that worse because the vasomotor regulation, which is I can't explain it very well. Do you know about that?
Vasomotor regulation?
Yeah.
Yes, how do you explain?
How your veins and arteries pump blood and the restriction, isn't it? Or is that something else? I wrote this a long time ago.
Yeah, it's how your nerves help you to regulate your body's ability to keep its blood pressure.
Yeah. So alcohol makes it worse, basically. Okay, so it doesn't work very well. It does worsen your hormonal imbalances. So like I said, the liver is a really important organ for your hormones because it excretes the used up estrogen. Which is what you need to do. But if you don't excrete the used up estrogen, it gets recycled back into your body, stored as fat, and can cause inflammation and God knows what else. So alcohol can worsen your hormone balance and then cause all sorts of issues, sleep issues for one, but inflammation, weight gain, all sorts of stuff. And it can affect your bone density as well. So it therefore can increase your risk of osteoporosis, which obviously we're more susceptible as we're perimenopausal anyway because of our estrogen depletion, but alcohol can rapidly bring that on, which we don't want. So strength training is brilliant, which will definitely, eating the right protein, eating a balanced diet, but you know, you can be super healthy food-wise and exercise, but if you're drinking way too much alcohol, you're almost undoing it. You kind of could be out of balance. And like I said, because of the hydration, it can slow down your muscle recovery after workouts, which no one wants. We want to improve that. So yeah, eating healthy, hydrating, reducing the alcohol. So essentially it amplifies all the things that a lot of women are working hard to manage anyway. So it can make it a lot more difficult going through perimenopause, and that's difficult enough, isn't it? So basically avoiding alcohol consumption, particularly after exercise. I know that's a different group. It's okay, this is the next one. Getting ahead of myself. So, talk a little bit about fat loss, but we like to talk more about body composition because it's not just fat loss, it's about increasing the muscle health, bone health, and all that sort of stuff. So alcohol can actually slow down your muscle protein synthesis, so producing muscle, and making it harder to build or maintain your lean muscle. So muscle is metabolically active, and it burns more. So the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism is at rest. So that's why it's important. It's not just about losing the weight, it's about your body composition. You want to build more muscle, so you've got more, your higher metabolism is higher. It's basically your longevity tool, muscle is. And so it burns more calories at rest. So the more muscle you have, the easier it is to stay lean and strong. And alcohol not only slows fat loss, but it can slow the muscle gain too. So think about all the effort that you put in the gym to build muscle, stay strong, eating healthy, and then you go and drink a load of alcohol on a regular basis. You're almost, like I just said, you can be depriving yourself of all that hard work that you've been putting in. So How much is moderate? I've put a load of figures at here, but I do this and I just look at it and go, So research and health guidelines define tolerable upper intake level thresholds for what is considered moderate, high or excessive alcohol consumption. But these limits are set to minimise health risks, but there are some suggestions to say that even the lower end is still not good for people. So this will make a little bit more sense. So how much is...
How do the grams equate to unit?
Yeah, 1 unit equals 8 grams of pure alcohol. So a standard glass of wine, 175 mils, contains roughly 2 to 3 units, which is 18.4 grams of alcohol.
So now flip back to that previous one where it was talking about how many grams? Daily grams, okay.
Yeah.
So if you had a
So even it's lower risk, but not risk-free.
So if you were drinking a glass of wine every day, you'd be over the limit?
Just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just as a comparative.
Yeah. So this can vary slightly depending on the wine's alcohol by volume, ABV. So men and women are advised not to drink more than 14 units a week on a regular basis. 14 units is equivalent to 6 pints on average. Strength beer or 10 small glasses of lower strength wine. But I guess if you were to count it all up, would you know how much you're, unless you reflect.
Not when once you've been drinking.
Yeah, exactly. So guidelines define as moderate 5 to 7 drinks per week. That's roughly 1 drink per day max. Remember, many women over 40 are more sensitive to alcohol anyway due to their smaller body mass, their lower water content and their slower alcohol metabolism. And as you get older, actually, your metabolism of alcohol isn't as good. So you probably get more drunk quicker and more stuff going on.
I've always got more drunk.
Yeah.
More.
Women get more drunk anyway than men.
Quicker than all my friends. Anyway.
But as you get older, your tolerance for alcohol diminishes. So, you're going to get more drunk quicker on less stuff and it's going to be more damaging. So what might feel normal to you can still have quite a big impact on your overall health. So yeah, most guidelines, no more than 1 drink per day. So, but imagine you don't drink in the week, but then you'll binge drink at the weekend. I wonder how many, would you have more than 7 drinks? Really, if you think about it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you've probably overdone that a week. Yeah, it's easily done, isn't it? So exceeding these amounts is considered high or excessive and is associated with significant health risks, including life expectancy. So yeah, obviously can deplete your longevity. Even moderate drinks carry some risk. And the safest level of many health outcomes may be lower than current guidelines suggest. And yeah, that's not even, that's considering, that's not even talking about the day-to-day side effects that you're getting, like we talked about before, your mood, motivation, all that sort of stuff. So what might feel normal to you can still have a big negative impact on your fat loss and overall health. Sorry to put a damper on things. Got to address the elephant in the room, haven't I? So
I addressed the fat issues without the alcohol, that's brilliant. I really haven't got alcohol to blame.
Yeah, but perimenopause is huge. But for me, I think what I haven't said on there is other things like your skin health, your eye health, your hair health, all that sort of stuff. I know when my skin's more dehydrated, so it's not just my body, my skin's drier and you can see it in your eyes when I've drank alcohol or not, so you can definitely tell on the surface level, and your skin is a very good indication. Skin, hair, nails, they're very good indications of what's going on in your body, good or bad. So if you've got something wrong with your skin, there's something going on underneath that needs addressing some way or another.
It's the biggest organ in the body, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so if you get a rash, it's because something else has been going on, like hives is an indication of eating something dodgy or that you can't tolerate, or stress, all sorts of stuff. So there are better options for relaxation if that was one of the common reasons for having a glass or 2 at night. So if you love a wind down ritual at night, you can try these instead. And it's just about creating a different routine. It's almost swapping rather than creating a new habit. Creating a new habit can be difficult, but if you think about swapping it, rather than being in that restrictive mode, because the more you think about something you can't have, the more you want it. So it's like, well, and you just got to be a bit curious about things, be a bit creative. So non-alcoholic alternatives. So drydrinker.com has so many things on there. Just as a caveat though, there's a lot of sugar in these non-alcoholics, but choose your battles. You know, alcohol is probably more damaging than sugar, and some of them are low sugar. So if it gets you off the alcohol, you're not alcohol dependent, and you're now just in the ritual, then you can then change that ritual again with less sugary things, but one thing at a time. Yeah.
Is there as much sugar in like a J2O then, or?
There is some of them, yeah. Yeah, there's sugar in that as well, but like I said, and sugar can be a lot on the liver, but not as much as alcohol. You're not going to get drunk and then it's not going to affect your decisions later, so you don't get the knock-on effects, emotional knock-on effects, and it won't affect your sleep as much. Like sugar will, but it's more the alcohol dependent, the taste, the ritual. Get to that stage first and then start changing the sugar intake. But honestly, like one battle at a time, because we try and do everything. We don't do the all or nothing approach. We do too much too soon, we're just going to fall off the wagon. So you've got to be kind to yourself and just figure out what works for you. But there are brilliant calming drinks as well. So things like that, they'll have calming ones. There's like Tonic Health is a really good brand that's an electrolytes drink, but it has one for the day, for energy, for sports, and then there's one at night. So it's got like stuff like ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen herb to help calm the body. What I would say with ashwagandha, it is an adaptogen herb, so please be careful if you're taking any medication.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, so an adaptogen herb, basically it's a herb that helps you adapt. So think of supplements as a crutch, and herbs are the physio. So the physio teaches you how to walk again. The crutch, it just supports you. Ashwagandha and like lion's mane, which is a mushroom, are really potent, but they're not. They can change because they're adaptogens. Can't think of a better way to explain it. It helps your body adapt.
Yeah.
Basically, but they're quite potent. But
so ideally you take them for a period, but not forever.
Yeah, and have a break and see how you feel, and just monitor. This is the thing, like they're available. You can get them from Holland and Barrett anywhere, but people don't know that they have to monitor themselves, and they don't realise why they're suddenly starting to feel really lethargic. And it's like, well, they don't know to ask the question, well, what have you been taking for the last few months? What's changed? It could just be the one thing, but several things. But yeah, so it can work great, and then you'll start going downhill and you like, don't know why it was working before. But your body changes all the time. So, you know, with anything, it's good to change things. Food, supplements, you shouldn't think that you should be on the same thing for the rest of your life, because you're not the same person as you were 10 years ago or 3 weeks ago. You know, your body, your blood recycles every 90 days. In theory, you're different every 90 days in a way. Do you know what I mean? So you have to always check in with yourself. So that's a good thing to do as well. So that's like my little caveat for the ashwagandha and stuff. But chamomile tea is a beautiful calming tea to have at night to help you sleep. Magnesium is also another good one, and you can get or dark green leafy vegetables and stuff like that. But anyway, we're talking more about alternatives for relaxing drinks. And the non-alcoholic alternatives on Dry Drinker is great. And then you can also get in the evening, rather than having a glass of wine, you could get excited about a herbal tea, because some of them are really nice. And then yeah, your little night rituals create a different environment, rather than sitting down in front of the TV like Wednesday nights, bath night. Let's just chill and read a book or listen to my favourite podcast while I'm in the bath. You know, and sort of change your environment and change your routine that wants you to have a large glass of wine, so to speak. Does that make sense? So if you sleep better, you'll wake up clearer and feel more aligned with your goals, and probably less likely to feel tired and then want more alcohol the next night. Any questions so far? I feel like I've been talking at you a lot. No? You okay? So nutrient-dense foods help the liver. This is my favourite bit. So the liver plays a crucial role in maintaining your overall health. So, and it, like I said before, it's responsible for various functions such as detoxification, so getting rid of all the toxins in your body, your metabolism and nutrient storage. So prioritising the liver health is actually essential for effective weight management and overall well-being. Reduces your inflammation, minimises the visceral fat or helps reduce it, and promote overall health. So by incorporating a diverse range of nutrient-rich foods, you can optimise your liver function and support your health goals. So what does that look like? These are a number of things that can help. So anything that is rich in antioxidants, so leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables. Try to find us the pictures most relevant. Healthy fats, we don't really think about fats, but you know, your liver does store fat. That's and the visceral fat in the body. So whatever fat the liver can't store, it'll store it elsewhere, hence around the belly and all that sort of stuff. So essential fatty acids that support liver function and reduce inflammation. So we're talking about omega-3 in your fish oils and stuff like that. Not just fish oil, but flax seeds and anything that's high in omega-3. Egg yolks, high in omega-3 as well. So they're your essential fatty acids. Citrus fruits, antioxidants, so anything like lemons, anything that's high in vitamin C. So it's great to have those berries. They're super high in vitamin C, full of antioxidants. So antioxidants are the things that fight off the baddies. And then obviously the more antioxidants and vitamin C you've got, that promotes the liver health and helps with the detoxification, just helps your liver get rid of the toxins. What people underestimate are herbs and spices. They possess a lot of anti-inflammatory properties that support the liver detoxification pathways. So flavouring your foods with lots of herbs and spices are great for the body. And then green tea, like I mentioned. So these are called catechins, I think, catechins. Green tea promotes liver health and aids in weight management. So green tea doesn't help you lose weight per se, but it does help the body in its anti-inflammatory and detoxification pathways. So it helps your liver unclog and not store fat. So green tea has been known to help
Is that
with
one of the reasons
the liver.
that matcha tea is very in?
Yes. Lots of health properties in matcha green, which is a green tea powder, or you can just have the green tea.
I drink the rooibos one.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Yes, that hasn't got any caffeine at all.
Yeah, so you can get the caffeine-free stuff as well. Obviously, if you're sensitive to caffeine, don't have green tea in the evening. Don't have it on an empty stomach either, because it can make you feel a bit queasy, because it's so potent to the liver. Have it after you've eaten something. Something I discovered and realised it was a thing. I was like, why do I feel so sick in the morning? And it was green tea on an empty stomach. So other foods, like I said, eggs, oily fish, and then nuts, pulses, if you can tolerate them. Pulse is a great source of plant-based protein as well, full of fibre, antioxidants. Fibre is a great way to support weight loss because it helps with liver health. Fibre is really good for the body in lots of many ways. Keeps you fuller for longer. Great for the gut microbiome. If you've got a healthy gut microbiome, a healthy liver, then everything's working optimally. So a nice, healthy, balanced diet, but anything like any kind of veg. But pulses are great for that as a plant-based source of protein, but meat is a great source of protein as well. Don't be afraid of the meat. But oily fish. So I use the acronym SMASH, so salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, herring. They're the oily fish. High in omega-3. So omega-3 is an essential fatty acid which is basically one of the best things for overall cellular health. Keeps your cell nice and fluid, so it can absorb the nutrients and excrete the toxins. So when your cellular health is nice and fluid, your body's going to function better. So omega-3 is good for that. So just eating healthy is not going to rectify binge drinking, but it is important to look after your liver through nutrition and hydration, like we said, and keeping the alcohol to a minimum. So, mini experiment. Did you get them to fill the other bit in? Or
in between, that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did any of you fill this bit in yet about the alcohol and your reflection? Yeah, okay, fab. So, I'm not saying to quit drinking, But these are some of the things that you could try, like we talked about before. Drinking early in the evening to protect sleep, water and electrolytes, maybe have 1 glass, drink some more water in between. Reducing the frequency, not just or binge drinking at weekends, reducing the glass size, and then noticing how you feel the next day, like we talked about before. So it's not just the next day, it's like the whole week. Have you noticed how you are, how you perform, how your mood is, how your soreness and all that sort of stuff. So this is more about awareness and building good habits that support your overall health. So this is a summary. Alcohol, especially in moderate high amounts, can hinder fat loss, promote unhealthy fat distribution, damage the liver health and disrupt metabolic and hormone balance. Sorry, it's really negative. But these effects are particularly concerning for women during perimenopause and menopause, as well as for anyone seeking to optimise body composition and overall health and well-being. So it's not just about fat loss, it can affect your overall performance, fitness, recovery, sleep, mood, mental health, skin health, hair health, a lot. That is a summary of everything that we kind of discussed today. Got some research papers, request of Dan to prove what I'm saying is correct.
I thought that when I saw it, I thought this sounded good.
Yeah, science-based. So for people who are interested in to learn more about it, there are a lot of studies out there to back this up.
Is there a book, just like a book, that you would suggest reading if you want to?
Gosh. I've read so many books. To be honest, I read a lot of nutrition magazines which have the research study backed up, or we just, I research it online. I think it's just what I know about this through my own studies and reading, and then, find the right research studies to back it up.
Sometimes they can be quite hyper, what's the right word? Sensationalised, potentially. I don't know of any good books on this, but we'll have a look, can't we?
Yeah.
And find one that we would recommend.
Yeah, and I was
thinking a decent author.
Yeah, I was thinking also, because there's lots of stuff about alcohol and not having it, but also just the general health side of it, the impact on fat loss and which is really good.
Yeah. And there's,
what good things you can do, not just don't have it.
Yeah. Well, so the suggestions in there, try and just start somewhere, choose your battles wisely, just do one thing at a time. What's important to you? And we're going back to the old thing about knowing your why as well. Why do you want to give up alcohol? Would you prefer to drink every day and then suffer all the inflammation and the low mood? And do you want to be in a good mood and hit it in the gym and feel great and recover and then go smash life? Or, as a one-off, fair enough, don't beat yourself up, but know the impacts it has, and just be mindful of the decisions that you're making, and be prepared to have those difficult confrontations with the people who are questioning why you're making those changes. So like I said before, either have a conversation with them, each person individually, or be prepared to stand your ground a bit and just put the questions back on them. I was saying earlier when you popped out, a bit of a mindset thing, like what is it that I'm still the same person when I'm sober, and I'm happy for you to be drunk if that's what you're worried about. Yeah, it's about what the friend or the people are worried about. But like I said, people don't like change in general, and when their friend is changing, it's not the change per se, it's the fear of losing their friend for when they change. So it's not necessarily you, it's back on them. So lots of different areas that it can affect: your metabolism, your body composition, your overall liver health, your mood and aging. So if you want to age gracefully and look younger for longer, reducing the alcohol, that alone could be enough for some people, particularly women. But if you want to feel good and you want to reduce the symptoms with your perimenopause and all that sort of stuff, because it's hard enough, reducing alcohol could really help that.
What are adipokines?
Where are we seeing that?
Bottom hormone, middle one. Pokines.
Is that the right word?
To do with the way your body stores fat.
Right.
So it's to do with hormones and how.
Have I spelled it wrong?
How your body fat is distributed across your body. Like they're like a signalling pathway.
Yeah, thanks Dan.
Quite complicated, but it's to do with your hormones.
I shouldn't have put that in there.
How to regulate your body fat distribution, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what.
So adipose tissue is fat storage.
Right.
So it's and kinds is, I think, is kinetic, is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you break it down, so it's the movement of the fat tissues, how it's distributed. Does that make sense? That's how my brain works.
So it's them that puts it all on my tummy.
Basically, yeah.
So
Yeah.
alcohol will potentially increase those to distribute it in places where you potentially don't want it to be.
Because it stores it. Yeah, so if your liver's not working and it can't distribute the toxins, it's going to store, in layman's terms, it's going to store those toxins in wherever it can, and that's and it'll store as fat. And then if you get a certain amount of fat in the body, that can then become its own organ, cause all sorts of inflammation and stuff. So yeah.
You can think of it as like the messaging system for where to put fat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sort of, yeah.
It's the text messaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space, no, I have.
Yeah. Any questions so far? So again, I just wanted to put that in because I don't want you to feel like I'm having a go at you. But we've got to address the elephant in the room, and I think it's hard to, it is literally physically, mentally hard to digest, particularly because it is such a big way of life. But it is becoming trendy. Not to drink. It is becoming trendy to be sober and cold turkey and not cold turkey, teetotal. So you know, if you want to be trendy. But I think it's becoming a lot easier. Wherever you go, there are so many alcohol-free alternatives, mocktails, they're in cans, they're in alcohol-free beers. Yeah, there's quite a lot going on now, and some of them are really good. They haven't perfected the red wine.
No.
At all, which is a shame.
I just like the gin. The gin's nice.
Guinness is good.
Colin was talking about it the other day. He said that there's a McGuigan's one that they do.
Red wine?
Yeah, that's apparently solid.
Great. Yeah. Because I've got some friends who are red wine drinkers, and there's just no alternative, including my mum.
McGuigan's, he said. And then obviously he said Guinness Zero is like the best.
Guinness Zero is great. I don't like it, but like, yeah, you wouldn't know the difference with some people. Yeah, if you like the Guinness.
The gins are quite good.
Yeah, and I think some of the rums aren't too bad. I don't know about the other spirits, but yeah. See, even like for gin and tonic, just drinking the tonic water with lemon was like, oh, yeah, it's enough for me. Yeah.
A sprig of rosemary.
Yeah, and they've got it in all the they've got it in the pubs. They've got like different flavoured non-alcoholic gins. You know, you wouldn't know. And if you really can't have that conversation with your friends, then just do it discreetly, or just have soda water in a wine glass. Like, but I would not be afraid to have those conversations with your friends and put it back on them. Ask them the questions. What are you worried about? You know, it's like it isn't fair, but it's not a judgment on you per se. It's something about them more than anything else. So yeah, just trying to make better, empowered choices for your overall well-being. Has anybody got any questions so far? You're very quiet. You're all tired. Do you all need a drink? How do you feel about this, guys? How do you feel about filling in this? What have you noticed filling in the questionnaire about alcohol in your reflection? Have you figured anything out about yourself?
So it's interesting because I put like what's positive about alcohol. I mean, the obvious answer is nothing, but and I thought, well, yeah, but
I mean, we can be realistic about it.
and I put it makes me feel part of the group. So that was interesting when you then said addiction, and I would say I don't have an issue with alcohol because I don't drink it very often, but it's interesting because a member of my family was saying last year that they were going to give up for the year. They didn't achieve a year, but they did achieve a chunk of time. And part of my head was like, oh, I'll support you in that, I'll join you in that. And the other part of my head was like, what? You know, because because the times when I do drink are those celebration events, those social events or something, and the idea of not having that one glass of wine at those special times, or those times when it gives me that feeling of, it's part of the connection of I'm having fun. And it was the idea that I wouldn't better do that at those times. I thought, that means more to you than you thought it did. When someone said, you know, I'm now going to give it up. So I was interested when you said also about addiction is about connection, because I wouldn't say I'm addicted to alcohol because I don't have it very often, but it is connected to connection.
Yeah.
And which I think is also part of what it is for you, isn't it? With your friends.
Do you think, Kerry, have you ever tried it where you haven't had that drink? Do you feel different then? Like, what is it about having that one drink that, I'm not saying it's right, I'm just asking that question. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, you're still the same person.
Yeah, I am still the same person, and I am that person. Like, you know, as the Christmas party in the past has proven, I can be the person that dances all night and not need a drink. I can be the person that's loud and, you know, chatty with everybody and not need a drink. So it does beg the question, why? You know, what is it about? I think some of it is to do with that kind of slightly out of, you know, I don't like the feeling of being out of control, so I'll stop before I get there. But there is something about that kind of feeling loose, I think.
Yeah, that's, and it is all about balance, you know, as long as you're aware of it. It's when it becomes a regular thing and it's like, well, what is the trade-off here?
But the other thing, I mean, one of my main goals is it would be the fat ratio reduction, and so it ties in with that. It ties in with that whole. So a lot of the science you were talking about then is also interesting because of the liver hitting the liver story. Is also interesting. And
I would look at it more as like what you can do to get that liver functioning optimally rather than restriction and stuff. Exactly. So, you know, like you can eat a really good diet to help all the alcohol, but it doesn't balance out evenly.
But I mean, for me, the fact that there is that crossover between alcohol and your liver and management of, you know, your body composition. Is interesting.
Yeah, it's got a lot of knock-on effects. If you have a healthy liver, it's got a lot of positive knock-on effects, but also the other way around.
Yeah, but like for me, that would be the buy-in. That would be the motivator. Would be, I want a healthy liver because I want to change my body composition.
Yeah, your hormones, visceral fat. A lot. Skin health, mental health.
So then, why would I then drink alcohol?
Yeah, but it's all about balance, right? Yeah. So if you're only ever doing it the one glass on the one occasion, then if you want to do that, that's fine. You know, life's for living. But when it's a regular occurrence, and what is a regular occurrence? You know, if you look at the information as well, like what is one too many drinks? It's a lot more than what we think. No, it's a lot less than what we think. We don't have to drink that much to actually go over the limit, really, with what's considered healthy or detrimental to our health. But yeah. On a positive note, is the one. What are the positives that you found if you didn't drink? Or what are the negatives, shall we say, and then flip it?
I like the being able to go out for a night out and wake up the next morning and it hasn't robbed you of anything.
Oh my God, right?
Horrible, like, I've now been robbed of a day. I've lost a whole day of things that I could have been doing that I would enjoy or make me feel like I've achieved something. And just not.
Yeah, because sometimes it's about what you don't want. That's a good driver for things, like what you don't want. Like, I do not want to wake up with the fear, the beer fear. And just feeling shit for the rest of the week. Just anxiety, you know, just like not even like what did I do? It's almost like I just don't feel right. I just feel really anxious, And it can affect you for the whole week, not just for the day. But then it just does set you off on the bad foot. Like you've been out the weekend, come Monday, you still feel groggy, and you eat shit food, and you're just like, and your week just seems to get spiral, like Dan was talking about, it just gets worse and worse. Is it worth it?
It feels like you're pushing mud uphill then, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or like if it is a one-off, it's a one-off, not doing that again for a long time, you know, but it's just about choosing your battles really and finding ways to swap rather than restrict, because being in a restrictive nature can almost make us want to do it more or feel, you know, we're on a back foot and we're being deprived of things, and that's, you make better changes, better choices in a positive mindset rather than, oh, I can't have this. You think about it more, don't you really? Any more feedback?
No, that was excellent, Claire.
Oh, thanks, Val.
Yeah. Do that really well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Doesn't she? Yeah, very.
Oh, thanks, you make me go red. Well, I hope it was useful for you guys.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions that you think of later down the line, just let us know. Always like message us or what have you. And then, yeah, any feedback on this would be great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
A feedback page on the back.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone would like to jot down any feedback, feel free to do that.